It's a big day. Can you at least try to eat some breakfast? Wait,
What?
good luck.
Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to Behind the Mind. Today I'm joined with Li Jie, the current advocate leader of the overpopulation reform in China. Good morning, Li. Thanks for being on today.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad that I finally have the opportunity to bring light to this issue. There is no way for accurately predicting where my campaign will go, but hopefully the people of China will receive the payment of my hard work.
I've reviewed your work and it is incredible. Now, I read that your passion to solve overpopulation started when you were a child. Can you explain that a bit?
Yeah, it is a long story, but I guess we have time. You see, my mother had two children. I was the second child, and my family, she was unemployed but was a very busy woman. My father was a taxi driver and worked all the time, even on holiday. I rarely saw him. Many people may be familiar with the one-child policy. However, when Deng Xiaoping enforced the policy, the exception to the rule was given to families who had the girl as their firstborn. Therefore, my family did not live in secrecy but struggled financially compared to the other family. I grew up in a small home about 2 hours away from Shanghai. It was a very crowded city. Personal space was a luxury that even the wealthiest people never had. Due to my father's declining job, getting a proper nutrition became a very difficulty. My father was not getting as much business as he used to, and our flow of income slowly decreased as I got older. I never expect more. I knew that my mother did the best she could. Simple tasks like reading and writing in school became hard for me because it became impossible to focus. I was constantly tired and headache became a common part of my day. I noticed that I was not growing as much as my other classmates. I was always surer and I did not mature as fast as they did. Failing in class was at least of my problem. All I could focus on was my next meal. But my parent was a big advocate for school. Education was very important for them in a country where information is filtered. They want me to be exposed to as much education as I can. Once in a while, my mother was able to get something from the market, but even that was rare. There were just so many people in one area. As soon as the market was filled, it was gone in a matter of seconds. It was like magic. They all just disappear. Grow up hungry is something that no one should live through. And during my childhood, I wonder if I would be raised the same if there was less people.
For people who never lived in a busy city, it can be hard to grasp how real this issue is. Does this issue continue to affect your life today?
Fortunately, my parents' persistence and education allow me to land a job in a government dealing with this issue. Overpopulation affects everyone in the country. Therefore, I still deal with this issue, but from a very different perspective. From my job, I am able to provide my family and myself with a nice home and enough food.
Lee, you mentioned that overpopulation affects everyone in the country.
Yes,
Overpopulation is usually associated with China, but other countries are starting to deal with it too. How does overpopulation differ from country to country?
well, every country deals with their problem differently. For some countries, the one-child policy is a harsh circumstance that would not even be considered. I think that the measures that are taken are determined by the government.
China is a self-entitled communistic country. Do you think that China has dealt with this issue well?
I think that the Chinese government has handled this situation as best as they could, but I think that it could be improved.
Using your platform and position, what are your plans to help the growing issue in China?
Many changes can be made to make the situation better for everyone in China. My first proposal is to get women more involved in the workforce. Of course, there are plenty of women that are working in this day and age, but there are also women that are trapped at home, like my mother. The second thing that needs to be done is installing reproduction education classes during school, although this might sound like a silly idea. I think that it will inform the nation about how to reduce the number of accidental babies. My third idea is to set a limit on the number of people living in one area. The number would be recorded through the census that is conducted every 10 years, similar to the United States. This way, the billions of people will be spread throughout the country. My idea is clearly not perfect, but this is just a beginning of the journey of China. I think that the simplicity of my idea is enough to preserve this enduring civilization.
Lee, you have stirred up a lot of curiosity with your raw and new ideas. I know your discoveries are new, so I wish you the best in your journey. Thank you for joining us today on Behind the Mind.